Frank, how you feeling these days?
I'm feeling good. I'm getting there, you know. I'd say I'm right on schedule or a little bit ahead of schedule, so that's good.
So I guess what does that mean in terms of this offseason? I mean, do you expect to be able to participate?
I'm going to be able to have a normal off season, I think. I think by a month from now, I should be normal, hopefully, right, if everything goes well. But also the blessing is there's no rush now that we do have the off season. But a month from now, everything should be normal.
We know you were resistant to shutting it down this year for obvious reasons. Can you just explain to us like what happened with the foot and how difficult that decision was?
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't have an option, which I thought I could try to play through because pain-wise, I think I could have handled it. But like as a player-wise, I don't think I would have been nearly the player that I need to be to help this team. And what really came down to, I ruptured the ligament or the tendon in my foot. It's called your plantar plate. Completely ruptured it. So pain-wise, I think because it completely ruptured, at first I thought that I could completely deal with it because there wasn't much pain. But from a functional, a balance, and a movement standpoint, it was very unrealistic for me to think that I could be the player that I could be. And that was what was so frustrating for me because I felt like I could tolerate pain-wise.
When you look at injuries this season, I mean, just as a whole, you guys have a lot of top guys going on. Obviously, it's going to be injuries throughout the season, but just when you look at the domino effect of how injuries affected this team as well, like what's your thoughts on just how many guys went out and just how it affected this team?
It is frustrating, man. It's frustrating. But, I mean, if you look around, it really happens everywhere. And, I mean, I think it really honestly comes down to luck some years if some teams don't get hurt. It's frustrating, but it's part of it. It's a violent physical game, and even for mine, it wasn't even a violent physical play to happen. And it's annoying. It's frustrating. It doesn't always make sense, but it is what it is, you know.
The other side of that, though, is that Evan got to come in and play, and even earlier with Matt Nelson and Tommy Kramer and all these other guys. Is that the silver lining in the injuries that you guys suffered? Is that you guys found out that you have some pretty good depth and some young guys?
Heck yeah, and just for them personally, right? Like Tommy Kramer, undrafted this year, playing in a bunch of games. Evan Brown definitely wasn't a household name by any means, and playing right up there with everybody and doing really, really well. And the list goes on. And that's hats off to them as individuals. And I think that's a really big hat off to Hank Fraley. I can't say enough about him as a coach, how he coaches us, how he communicates, how he keeps everybody ready. He coaches everybody the same. It's incredible, man. And it's been great to see those guys step up. And, I mean, I saw some things that we had a pretty good season running the ball this year, and I'm so frustrated that I wasn't able to be a part of it. But to see that with as much injuries as we did have up front and the different lineups, it's great for the future.
So speak to the depth that you guys have now built, and that you obviously want to play the top 5 the whole year long. But if something happens, just the confidence that you guys have now, if you can keep some of these guys around.
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's as much as everybody wants all 5 to play at all 17 games, it really is an unrealistic deal, and it's not too common. And I would love for it to happen next year, though. But to have guys that can step in and you really don't skip a beat, or even sometimes, I mean, do better, it's great. So that's very exciting for the future.
Was Sewell as good as you thought he was going to be, or did he exceed your expectations?
I thought he was going to be pretty good. He's pretty good, and he's got a long way to go too, man, which is nuts. But just like in terms for me, like all I care about is like as a person, right? As work ethic, especially a rookie. Like he came in here just humble, quiet, just worked, and then he just started developing that confidence. And I mean, from day one, I knew he was going to be special, and he's going to keep getting more and more special for sure.
What are you doing in your rehab now? Are you back to running? Like what comes next?
Yeah, I just ran today. Yeah, I ran outside on the turf today. It was a big day for me, actually. Yeah. So I was pretty pumped about it. So, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I just like not being too aggressive, but yet being aggressive, but like just straight line running right now, and then we'll start doing more football stuff, footwork stuff, and we'll be good.
You're a mental health advocate. I know it's important to you. Obviously, when you have a season-ending injury, that's a hurdle to get over. So, at what point did you kind of clear that mental hurdle, and I guess what were maybe some of the important factors to that?
Ooh, I don't know if I've cleared it. It's brutal, man. I think the blessing of it, though, like I stuck around, I was able to sit in meetings and kind of see on the sideline, is to take in all of it and take in how much you really love being a part of it and being out there. And I think that was a blessing. But, man, I gained a lot of respect for dudes who fight through injuries throughout their career, because it is a whole different animal to be, because you're a warrior on Sundays, man. When you're in those pads, you feel unstoppable. And to be out there in, like, some gym shorts and just watching the guys, it's a humble feeling. And to get that side of it, that perspective, will probably be a blessing for me in the future. But it was definitely really hard.
And I had one more about Sewell. He just plays with such a different on-field attitude than you. You know, you're more workmanlike, and you don't say a whole lot. And he's out there, and
He's screaming and stuff. Yeah.
Like, do you like having somebody to kind of carry that emotional energy for the line? Is that helpful to you in any way?
No, I think whatever each guy has to do to get themselves going, I'm all for it, man. If he needs to scream and do whatever he does, do it. I'll try to feed off it and whatnot, but if it gets him going, I'm all for it.
Granted, you're the same position coach as you had in the past, but the vibe seemed completely different from afar from last year and the year before. Did you sense that? Why do you think it was?
The vibe in terms of what?
In the locker room, the whole,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like with the new head coach, you're always going to have a new energy. But then as the season went on, you learn more about the guy. You learn more about Dan and how he is as a person and how he is as a coach. And I think you gain more of that trust and that respect, and you realize he's legit, and I think that helps continue the energy. So I think it was great.
I don't know if this is the same question, but what gives you the most optimism looking forward?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'd say definitely the dudes in the locker room. Like, just knowing we got dudes that will work hard, right? And they're gonna take it one day at a time. There's not dudes in this locker room that there's not many egos. It's tough dudes that want to be good. And then you combine that with coaches that care about you as a human and care about winning ball games. That's what's really exciting.
Usually when a team ends the season with 3 wins, it's kind of hanging your head and going out the door and
sure.
depressed. And it seems like outside fans, even through the media, there's this optimism that's kind of going forward. Does it feel different for you this season's end versus maybe the end of the season?
Well, don't get it twisted. I mean, 3 wins is brutal.
Yeah.
And it's not anywhere like, what did Dan say the other day? We're in the Arctic.
Yeah.
Like, that's the Arctic, man. 3 wins in the NFL is brutal. And I don't think guys by any means are happy with what we did this season. But I would say looking at what we did this season, there definitely is thoughts of optimism. And I think compared to years past, there definitely is like, okay, we can get doing this. And that's really exciting.
Just to follow up on what Sonny asked, you said you learn more about coach and you start to see different elements. Could you give me some examples or like?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, in general, like when you meet a guy specifically, everyone's always going to have a great first impression, and they're going to say all the right things when we're in this business, right? But just to see that the guy is consistently backing what he says, whether it's to you guys or to us, he's the same guy every day, and to see that come to fruition, that gives guys energy, that gives guys trust, and that means the world to players.
I apologize if this has been asked already, but they've been trying to get a run game going here for a long time, and it really looks like that thing was moving.
Yeah, and then I was hurt.
Yeah.
Brutal, man.
But optimism is that when you come back, it gets better. And just having that as the base for an offense, how important is that?
I think it's everything, man. And I mean, maybe that's me being biased as an offensive lineman, but I think it helps out every phase of the football team. It helps control the game. It helps set up the pass pro. It helps your defense. I think it's everything. So it's very exciting, and I'm very eager to be a part of that.
What were you thinking as you were watching them run the ball consistently?
It's exciting, man, to see some of those big runs, especially, like not just like the 4 or the 5, but then we're breaking some. That gets an lineman going, but also is like, gosh, I wish I was out there helping. So, but it's definitely exciting, and it's just proud of those dudes working hard every day.
So the whole thing together, with the way the passing game came online, with Jared, Naaman Ra, and the guys, just your thoughts on what this can be next year.
It can be good, but I mean, we can't get ahead of ourselves, because at the end of the day, we really won 3 games, and the important part is we take it one day at a time. We build off what we were rolling on and getting rolling on, whether it's pass or run game, and then we work on the things that we weren't so good at.